A very good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Times Exclusive, airing on Times Network. I'm Brian Banda. Thank you for joining us.
Weather Shield, another brand from Rainbow Paints. This is Ultimate. An extreme high-performance acrylic smooth textured finishing with ultraviolet absorption and maximum flexibility properties for wall finishes. A built-in fungicide to resist molds. Simple to use, quick drying, water-resistant binding power, low dirt retention, and hides hairline cracks. Suitable for use on all exterior walls, be it plaster, concrete, or brickwork. Available in a wide range of colors in 5 and 20-liter containers. Contact us today in Blantyre 01841-813, 01841-871, Lilongwe 01755-901. Email info@rainbowpaints.biz. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind, part of the deal.
In this edition of the program, I'll be talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Balaka North, Honorable Lucius Banda. Honorable Lucius Banda is also one of the Malawi's celebrated musicians. He's my guest tonight in Times Exclusive. Honorable Banda, thank you very much for joining us in this edition of the program.
Thank you.
We are meeting after a lot has happened in your life. If my memory serves me well, you haven't been able to run political affairs because you were arrested. How do you remember that time?
Well, I look at it as a learning curve, as a time that has taught me a lot. I believe through it I have come out stronger. Just like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But I think I've also learned a lot as a member of Parliament. My approach to issues is improved, and I think so far so good.
Have you forgiven the late Bing?
Definitely. I have a belief that politics must not be taken to heart too much. I recall the words of Dr. John Tembo. A lot of people don't know he's Dr. John Tembo. He once said, when we were asking him how he has managed to survive in Parliament for longer than 40 years, he said, never take things that happen here to heart. Look at it as if it's drama. When we come off the stage, you take off the costume and you live normally. So I understood things that happened that time. I did forgive Bingu and whosoever took a hand in the whole thing and moved on with life.
Do you believe that you are also to blame for whatever happened to you?
Definitely, yeah. Now that I'm mature, I can say yes. Obviously, people respond to how I was also in Parliament. That's why I'm saying I've also learned a few lessons. I've learned to approach matters differently. I really remember that time that I was so militant and to some extent too vocal, sometimes even unnecessarily too vocal. But I think through a period of time, a few things have been learned.
I'm asking that question deliberately because the other school of thought has always believed that you were used by Bakili Muluzi. Do you feel used and dumped?
No. I think when I was going to Parliament, I was 34 that time. I was mature enough to know what was right. And honestly, despite how I handled myself, but the ideals I was standing for were right. I still think we needed to approach matters in that way. If democracy is to be taken seriously, it was not proper for a president to win with Party A and while in government form another party. It was not proper.
So that conviction, you don't regret for the conviction that you had at that particular time?
That one I don't regret. And if Malawians would find it very normal, then we shouldn't be surprised when so many things are going abnormal. Because trust is very important. When people go to vote, there are things they look at you before they vote you. The reason people wouldn't vote Party A, they vote Party B, Party B. It doesn't make sense for you to go in power and then form Party C. They had belief, they had confidence in the ideologies and the principles that were laid down, rather the manifesto of that particular party. Now, if you dump the people and form another party, it's a violation of those people's rights, because they voted you based on the things you told them then. But now you're changing the whole thing. I don't think it's fair. So for that, I still stand for that. But maybe the way I approached the matter, maybe the way I handled myself, in a way, it would make people angry. But I still feel I did the right thing.
Now, do you feel that you were properly rewarded? Because you fought for the former president, Bakili Muluzi. You stood for the party. How much were you rewarded for that particular fight?
Well, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around?
Actually, the reason I have always respected Dr. Bakili Muluzi, I believe he's the one who made me succeed in life when he was the president. I was able to sing my songs. I was able to criticize anybody, including him, and get away with it. He never took it personal. I've got a song which I released in 1997, which when I look back and listen to it now, it could be treason. It's about time soldiers take over. That song, if you listen to it today with a mature ear, if it was a president who was not very democratic, definitely would have taken me to task that you are inciting soldiers to take over. But here is Dr. Bakili Muluzi, who just looked aside and laughed over it. And when we met, he said, you, and laugh about it. So to me, being faithful to the UDF comes in because it's a party which I saw doing things right at that time. I saw the party taking people out of the multi-party system, out of the one-party system, jumping into the multi-party era. It is the party that ushered us into this new political dispensation. So it still has a big place in my heart. I have so much respect for the party and, of course, for Dr. Bakili Muluzi.
Fast forward to 2014, you saw yourself back in Parliament. Were you surprised?
I was not surprised, because I believed I was faithful to the people, and the people had to be faithful to me, because the agenda I advanced then came from the people. And when I went through all that, I went back to ask the people that I wanted to go back to Parliament. They allowed me. They sent me to Parliament.
Now, did it feel strange or the same?
It kind of felt strange a bit, because there's a new crop of members of Parliament. The approach to matters is not as radical as it was in 2004. The political environment here is not as radical as it was that time. So matters are being approached in a calm way. Of course, we are having some drama here and there. You never fail to see such things in Parliament.
This constituency was also heavily contested by the current First Lady.
Yes.
Madam Gertrude Mutharika.
Yes. We contested. She actually was one of the contestants. There were three of us. There was myself, and there was Mr. Tony Ngalande, who was actually running for PP then, and then the First Lady. Then she was the incumbent MP in the constituency. Yeah, fortunately, we thank God I won with almost 17,000 votes. And Mr. Ngalande was trailing behind with 8,000, and the First Lady now came third with 7,000 votes.
Has it sunk in that you defeated the current First Lady? She was not First Lady then.
Yeah, well, I don't think I have defeated her. She's the first lady.
So you have not defeated her?
No, I have not defeated her. In all fairness, she's way higher than the position I have. It's as good as you're in Big Brother and you've lost 100,000 and someone say, here's 200,000.
Yeah.
There is, I think, no loser. So far, so good.
Oh, how would you describe your relationship with Madam Gertrude Mutarika, the First Lady, who comes from this constituency?
To be honest, I wouldn't say there's any problem between us. There isn't any problem. Much as we don't really talk much. I mean, you know where she is.
Yeah. It's
not easy for me to access her. But a number of times when she's been coming, I've been welcoming her. She's been helping the constituency. Whenever she can manage to find through her charities, she's been assisting, which we appreciate. But of course, you don't fail to have people trying to come in between us here and there, talking this and that. But I think so far we have not had any situations whereby I would say we have a fight whatsoever. No, not really.
What vision do you have for this constituency? You have been a member of parliament now since 2014. What are you planning for this constituency?
Well, number one problem in Balaka North is water. Balaka is generally a dry area. As we are talking, water may come today, may not be available the next 2 days. It's got a problem with water. So my main issue has been traveling around looking for opportunities of water. I have visited Islamic groups in Mangochi who have come and have sunk by now not less than 30 boreholes in the constituency. These are my initiatives. I've been going to them, the groups like Elevanti, Zamzam, different groups, but also I've been visiting Mr. Augustino, is an Italian based in Toleza in the middle of my constituency. He has assisted me with school blocks at Kabango and other places. Through CDF and LDF, we have constructed bridges. We've put a bridge between Kwisa and Toleza where there had never been a bridge. We've actually put another bridge at Mangombo, another bridge in Ulongwe. Now people from Ulongwe can now get into the constituency via Chindikiti village. We've put a bridge there on the Nkasi
So
River.
access and water availability, these are the things that you're fighting
These
for.
are the things I'm fighting for. But again, I'm also doing some charities, which are my own initiatives. I have 108 students that I'm paying school fees for in the constituency. And I'm also helping out, especially issues of... this is not really our job, but we have a situation at our hospital whereby bodies, the ambulance does not ferry the bodies back to their homes when it so happens. So to be honest, here, we do not pass a day without carrying a body back to the village. As I'm talking, the pickup is already gone to leave one body at Kwisa. We do this on a daily basis. Our people struggle in many ways, so we provide such things. But the main issues here, water and road infrastructure, bridges.
Let's go back to Parliament now. In Parliament, are you a member of the opposition or government?
Well, me, I do believe in listening to the people of my constituency. When we had elections in 2014, it so happened that UDF did not succeed. UDF failed to become government. Automatically, when that happens, you become opposition. So we sat on the opposition. But so it so happened that our leader, I think he had negotiations with DPP, and then he joined the government, of which he told us later on that he had joined the government, and it was a collision, of which, according to my understanding of politics, I thought it wasn't proper for me to join because I didn't see any signed documents.
So all the UDF members of Parliament moved to the government bench.
All of
you
them.
decided to remain.
Yes.
Was that a rebellion?
I wouldn't call it a rebellion, but I thought I listened to my conscience. I thought I'm mature enough. Come on, I'm 47 years old. I cannot go into a deal without a paper and a pen.
So there was no deal whatsoever?
No deal, not even on a toilet paper. I've never seen anything.
So what is Atupele doing then in government?
Well, he's a minister there. He's helping government.
Okay.
That's what it is.
So to answer my question, is your party, the United Democratic Front, in partnership with the DPP government?
That's difficult for me to say outrightly yes or no, because yes, the leader is there, the members of parliament have moved to that side, but to be honest, on the ground, there's nothing that our supporters are seeing that they can say we are really together. To some extent, it looks like it's the leader's agreement with the other party, and then it involves.
So when Atupere was joining the government, him being the president of the party, what message did he tell you, members of parliament?
Well, the belief was we're going there to assist the government.
Okay. So did you sit down and discuss the move to join the DPP government?
We did, but after things were already done, and we have got the dates. He joined government. He saw as a minister. He got sworn in as a minister. I think the day we were to start parliament, the following day. But then later on is when we were being told this is what is going to happen. So to some extent, a lot of people just say, okay, fine, because it had already happened. In the first place, I didn't have problems with it because it was like he is going to be sitting at that side, we'll be seated here in the opposition. But then later on, it all changed. We were all supposed to move and sit the other side. I had problems with that because, in my belief, the old woman out there in Kachenga who voted for me would want to hear UDF speaking in parliament as a party. But according to the standing orders of our parliament, if a party in opposition moves and sits with the government side, that party relinquishes its leadership in the House automatically. Its aspiration ideals will be now pronounced by the leader of the House, which is the government side. I had problems with that because I believed the fact that we were UDF and they are DPP, we differ in manifesto and other issues. It was very important for UDF to maintain itself as a bloc, to be able to stand and talk, comment on every issue, every bill that comes in parliament. Right now what happens, when a bill is read by the Minister of Finance that side, it's responded to by a spokesperson from MCP and then PP, and that's it. There's no mention, how about UDF? No. That pains me, because I believe the people who voted us as members of parliament of UDF, whether we are 14 or 13 or 3, they would want to hear the views of UDF, because I believe that's their view. And that's what happened.
Now, others have said that you have always been bitter with the Democratic Progressive. And this is why I asked you whether you had forgiven the late Bingu or not. The thought of dining together with the Democratic Progressive Party still pains you today. Is that a fair analysis?
A lot of people think like that, but
it's not only me, isn't it?
No, it's not only you. A lot of people think like that, but I am a mature person. You can have differences and mend the differences, but that does not completely change your beliefs and your ways of life. The political theory that I have does not augur with the DPP's approach. I believe in hands put together like this. DPP believes in 4 cobs of maize. It's very different.
Yeah, did you explain this to Atupere?
I made it clear, yes.
And what did he tell you?
No, he understood. He understood that I couldn't mix. And
so it's because of the ideologies, not because of the anger that you have for the Democratic Progressive Party. This is the party that jailed you.
Me, if there's someone who forgives like a child, it's me. Okay. Most of the band members in my band have left, come, and you know the story. I am very quick to forgive. Last Sunday I was here with the governor for DPP. We had a drink in the house. We were chatting, we were laughing. I've got a lot of friends in the DPP. But I have principles. I have guidelines for my life. There's no way I can just switch and say, yeah, then now I become part of you. No. A human being must have his own guidelines. We should have your blueprints as a human being that this is what I can do, this is what I can do. I can mix to this extent. And of course, here I can maintain a social distance. And the social distance between me and DPP does not allow me to go and sit on the benches.
We'll take a short break.
Thank
We'll be back with you in a moment.
Thank you.
In case you're just joining us, this is Times Exclusive, airing on Times Television. I'm your host, Brian Banda. In this edition of the program, I'm talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Balaka North, Honorable Lucius Banda. Honorable Banda is also one of the country's celebrated musicians. The program tonight is coming to you courtesy of Rainbow Paints. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Weather Shield, another brand from Rainbow Paints. This is Ultimate. An extreme high-performance acrylic smooth textured finishing with ultraviolet absorption and maximum flexibility properties for wall finishes. A built-in fungicide to resist molds. Simple to use, quick drying, water-resistant binding power, low dirt retention, and hides hairline cracks. Suitable for use on all exterior walls, be it plaster, concrete, or brickwork. Available in a wide range of colors in 5 and 20-liter containers. Contact us today in Blantyre 01841-813, 01841-871, Lilongwe 01755-901. Email info@rainbowpaints.biz. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind, part of the deal.
You are watching Times Exclusive on Times Television. I'm Brian Banda, your host. In this edition of the program, I'm talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Balaka North, Honorable Lucius Banda, who is also one of the country's renowned musicians. Welcome back to the other half of the program.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank
Now, do you see the future with the United Democratic Front?
The future is there. UDF is one of the most loved parties in Malawi. But I think, to be honest, the people that are calling our president to come back to the party, they're not making a mistake. I think it's about time. Right now, we're in the middle of the term. People are repositioning themselves. People need to know what's going to happen in 2019. So it's either of those three options. One, if the president comes back to the party and we can start building our party or rebuilding our party, seeing where we went wrong in 2014, or maybe should allow a convention to happen if he's not comfortable to continue with the leadership, then we, as the remnants, we can see what we can do. We can find someone to lead the party.
Do you see Honorable Dr Bakili Muluzi leaving government?
It depends on how he feels for the party. If he really loves the party, he's going to have to do that, because I think by now we can say that's what the party needs. It needs him in the house.
But he's dining with President Peter Mutharika. He's dining with officials of the Democratic Progressive Party. Do you see, this is what I'm asking, do you see him leaving all that to come back to UDF and the campaign against President Mutharika?
Well, that would be tricky. That would really be tricky, because like I've said, would have expected him to be actually talking. When we hear these issues of Cashgate, Mazegate, Tractorgate, we would have expected our leader to mention and condemn them. But that hasn't happened, because he apparently has been part of that government. But we're still saying all hope is not lost. If he can wake up from the slumber and come back to the party and lead us in rebuilding the party, that would help.
What message can Dr Bakili Muluzi give to Malawians in the manner that he has behaved? You are calling for him to leave the government and drive the United Democratic Front. What message do you think can he give to Malawians?
Well, it would be difficult for me to say.
You are one of the people that are calling for him to come back to the United Democratic Front.
Yeah, we're saying he should come and look at his party, help building his party. Well, maybe he's not entirely responsible for any wrong things that might have happened, but on the other hand, we have to accept that he's been in that government. That really puts us in a little bit of an awkward position. But UDF is not one person, and like I said, the vast majority of our people are stuck with the party, and we're focusing on getting back in power 2019.
United Democratic Front?
Exactly.
Getting into government?
2019.
With which leader then?
When we regroup, when he comes, we can have convention. It's either him or another leader.
My question is, do you see him coming back?
I think if he loves the party, he will come. If he doesn't come, then we people remaining will put ourselves together, put our efforts together, and come up with a leader, and that leader will take the party into power.
What would be your slogan for 2014 elections was agenda for change?
Yes.
What other message can you give Malawians?
Well, we can come up with a message. There are always things which are happening. You know, things that are happening today, they're teaching us. They're teaching us lessons for tomorrow. We have seen when we were getting into this government, people expected so much, and so much has happened. From there, we can draw lessons and say, no, this is how we're going to proceed. Because, mind you, we've got 2.5 years to go.
Political parties in Malawi are associated with some surnames. The Democratic Progressive Party is associated with the Mutarika family. The PP is associated with the Joyce Banda family. The United Democratic Front is associated with the Muluzi family.
Yes.
Do you see, and I want you to be fair with me,
yes,
do you see anyone else apart from Atupere running the United Democratic Front?
Where we've reached, I think if the leader can't come back, the party is going to have to come up with a leader, because at the end of the day, it will not be the party dumping the president, it will be the president dumping the party. So I don't see how a man would refuse a woman he has dumped from marrying another man. I think it should be possible that another person should merge and continue.
Will you avail yourself for the leadership of the party?
Well, it's not really been my dream. But just like children in a family, when parents die, one of them become head of the family.
Do you want to answer my question?
I just answered it.
Yeah, do you want to answer my question? My question is, in the absence of Atupere Muluzi, in the absence of everyone else leading the party, you are the only member of parliament for the United Democratic Front, still in opposition. All your friends have left. They are dining with the Democratic Progressive Party. Will you avail yourself for leadership of the UDF?
My first interest right now is to raise all those heroes that have laid back, that are sitting home. The UDF party has a lot of people. It has a lot of great people, people like Zwiro Chiwambo, people like Kennedy Makwangwala, people like Humphrey Mpula, a lot of people like Yusuf Mawa, people like Nembo. Countrywide, UDF has a lot of people. It actually doesn't need days to choose a leader. A leader can emerge. It will not be clever for me to push myself in and say, I am the leader. The issue here is not about leadership. The issue is about building the party, putting it back so that it can manage to get back to where it was. Well, if we can't get in power in 2019, but we should be able to reclaim our members of parliament, 40 or 50 members of parliament. They should be there, at least in a worst case scenario. But that can only happen if we encourage each other. There are a lot of people, the Friday Jumbes, great people who know politics, who have sat down, for what reasons I may not be able to say, but I believe I can lead the party to get those people back and tell us that let's come up with a leader.
Have you harbored ambitions in your life to become the president of this country?
Nah, not really. I've never had
Not really?
such,
Oh, no? No or not really?
Well, every person who is singing a song, one day he wants to be a star. All right? So everyone who puts on a tie and a jacket and say, I want to be a politician, if an opportunity of becoming a president came, unless he's a mad person, he wouldn't grab it. Because the highest pinnacle of politics is being a leader. But it's not my ultimate goal.
Yes.
My intention is the party that I believe in, which is UDF, must grow strong, must be able to stay intact. From there, we can now produce a leader.
You have been with Atubere Muluzi very close than me and some of us in this country. When you talk to him, what is he doing with President Peter Mutharika?
Well, I think the time I spoke to him a lot is when he was joining the other side of government. To be honest, we have really not spoken deep and beyond greetings and the usual highs in the past 1 year. We have not really talked deep politics. To some extent, I think on the hierarchy, I'm not very high up there. I'm just a member of the Central Executive. But I think there are big people that I think he can spend time to talk with.
So you don't know what he's doing with the government?
No. Actually, if I knew, maybe that would have assisted me not to take the stance of that he should have come back.
So what if he doesn't take heed of the cause that he should leave government and drive the United Democratic Front?
No, if he cannot come back and drive the UDF party, no, the UDF has to find a leader. That's a must, because us, we trusted UDF. That time we would have joined PP, would have joined DPP. We joined UDF, and we actually saw our allegiance to the party. And now we cannot just be dumped and just stay quiet.
You feel that you have been dumped?
If he doesn't come,
yes,
yeah, we'll have been dumped. But so far, we are actually talking. We are actually writing letters to them. That's why I can't diverge much of the issues. Some of the things will be coming in due course. We are writing the
do you see another person? I'll still come back to that question. Do you see another person running the United Democratic Front? Somebody without the name Muluzi in him?
It's very possible.
It's very possible?
It's very possible. In 2004, we did not know that we would have a president, the name of Bingwa Mutharika. He doesn't have a Muluzi surname, but he became the president in the UDF. So it's possible. I look at Dr. Bakili Muluzi as being one of the most democratic people that I know. He can accept such a situation. And you remember very well that when he retired, he gave the presidency to Honorable Friday Jumbe at that time. So I don't really think he'll insist that only someone with a surname Muluzi should be the one to lead. I think anyone capable of leading can lead, but that's if we go into a convention and the current president doesn't succeed.
What is your personal reflection on this government? Are we going towards the right direction or not? Is President Peter Mutharika taking this country to the greatest heights that we have been waiting for?
There are a number of things which have gone right. I am admiring the developments in terms of road infrastructure. That you cannot take away from him. He's done his best. I think when you look at the townships, they're looking different. The roads have been done. But honestly, the way the corruption is being tolerated, I think that leaves a lot to be desired. Because where you have a parent and you see that another child is like on top of the family's values and laws and can get away with it, everyone looks at the father and say, what's wrong with you? So this is what I think every Malawian out there is complaining. The levels of corruption in this country are just nasty, and it's not good at all. Nasty. It's not.
President Peter Mutharika has said that his government is corrupt-free. He has shielded his cabinet. He says he's one of the best. And here you are calling his government nasty in as far as corruption is concerned. Who should we listen to?
I think you should listen to me, because what I'm saying,
listen to you?
I stay in Balaka.
Yes.
I'm still with the people. I don't see how the president can reach a common man in the street and hear the real views, what people are saying today. We have situations of Cashgate. We're hearing that ministers were involved in the Cashgate thing, and they're not being touched. We hear about Maysgate. We hear about tractors issues. Nothing is being done. If anything, investigators at ACB are being killed. We're having people like in Jaunju dying in a sudden way where you can't expect that a person should be handled. I mean, this is a person who is investigating these matters. A lot of funny things are happening. That's not good.
Do we have to blame President Peter Mutharika for the wrongs that are happening in this country? Or
He is to blame. He has a right to correct the situation. If SCB is not performing, he has a right to fire the boss or to say, look, what's happening? He's the only one we've vested all the powers to control these things. Even the cabinet ministers who are not behaving. If a cabinet minister, everybody is talking about one particular cabinet minister, I think the president should be able to listen to the people and say, look, good, we may be friends, we may be race mates, we may be, but
race mates?
I didn't say it.
You said that. You said that. Okay. So President Mutharika is shielding his race mates. Is that what I'm getting from you?
One would make that mistake because one would wonder that how can one person be so invisible, be so free to do anything and get away with it? I mean, it's supposed to, it takes a leader to say, no, whatever you are to me, close or boy from home, but this is not right.
You used to sing on the social ills happening in this country. And a lot of people are asking, where is Lucius? In all these things. Tractorgate, corruption, social racial mates, another word that I've just learned in the interview. Where is Lucius in all these things?
Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment because if I was just singing without sitting down and reflecting, one would say, he just hates the government. He just hates the DPP. 2.5 years, I've not said anything. But I'm now...
It's because you are worried that Peter might take you back to jail.
No.
No? You are not afraid of being arrested again?
Prison and death are the least things that I fear. Tell me something more terrifying.
Prison
and death are the things I don't worry about. Tell me something more frightening, then I'll be afraid.
So you have seen it all, isn't it?
I've seen it all. I've been to hell and back. I don't fear any person.
Then why are you not speaking? It's probably because your president is, as we have already said, is dining with President Peter Mutharika.
I believe it's very important for me to come out when it's really very necessary.
Are you coming out?
I'm coming out, and I'm coming out hard.
You're coming out hard?
Very hard.
Hard on who? Hard on the Democratic Progressive? Hard on President Mutharika, or hard on who?
Hard on whosoever is making a mistake in this country. Whosoever is making people suffer. Whosoever is making poor people feel like they're not in their own country. That one will feel the way.
But that might create enemies. You understand that?
A man who doesn't have enemies is useless. I mean, I can record Eleanor Roosevelt, and when you have no enemy, it means you are dead. The dead don't have enemies because they don't talk. They don't do anything. You must have enemies, and you must expect enemies. 48 laws of power says you will have enemies. In fact, at some point, when you don't have, you need to create them.
You need to create them.
Yes.
So how hard are you coming on those that are doing evil for this country?
Very hard, very hard. We're going straight the life way, the way we did life, the way we spoke in the 90s. We are going to do that. We're doing that. We have written songs. I finished just 2 days ago writing 13 songs, which are in this album, and the album is called Crimes.
When is it coming?
It's coming in April.
It's coming in April?
Yes.
It's going to hit hard.
Very hard. When you stand tall and think about the genocide in Rwanda and you call that crimes against humanity, but you forget about the money that you're stealing, which was meant to be bought food to give to the poor people, those also are crimes against humanity. That's part of the song.
So Lucius Banda is coming back.
Back to stay.
Is there anyone else in the family talking about music? Lucius, you are getting old. 47, not that bad, but
47.
But age is catching up with you.
It is, yeah. Well, people mistake music with other disciplines like football. Music is like journalism.
Music is like journalism.
You don't retire. It's a passion. It's not something that needs too much of your energy. You can go on stage and perform while seated if you're very old. You have seen Gideon Chalamanda going to America when he's 82, 83 years old. I don't see myself quitting or retiring from the music industry as such. Maybe things may change. Maybe my approach to the performances, how I go and present myself on stage, that may change. But to quit music, no, that is not going to happen. I have tried a number of times. I've said, now slow down. But it won't be me again. I love music. It's part of my life. I mean, it's no longer about money only. It's now a hobby. If it was about money, there are other things which can bring us money, with this pirates around. But it's in me when I sing.
Why is corruption so rampant in this country?
That's a very good question.
Your thoughts on corruption?
I think Malawians have to learn to accept what we have and live within those means. I think Malawians have to learn to be proud. Secondly. Thirdly, Malawians must look at a bigger picture. They should be able to accept that I want to have 1% of 1 billion than 100% of 100,000. Malawians want to get things faster. They don't look at beyond tomorrow. They just look at today and tomorrow. And that's why we are so corrupt. Someone can come today and just bribe us, and we can even sell our whole country. We are so short-sighted. One other problem is we have an insatiable appetite for good things. Right now, a house without tiles is seen as it's not finished. But there are houses in the UK which have got no tiles. We want everything to look like in America or in Dubai. We have people who hire a whole container from China carrying building materials, including doors and frames. When we can make frames here?
A lot of people have questioned and asked your association with Prophet Shepherd Bushiri.
Major one, yes.
You are a staunch Catholic.
Yes.
And your fellow Catholics are wondering what is happening to Lucius. Can you explain what is your association? What are you doing with Prophet Shepherd Bushiri?
Prophet Shepherd Bushiri is a friend to me. We are friends. We chat, we talk, we laugh together. But again, he's a model which every young person must look up to. He's a successful man. He has succeeded in life. He has made it big. He's a world-class businessman, but he's also a world-class prophet, man of God. And he comes from Malawi. As a Malawian young man, if I'm not jealousy, I should look at him as an example. What he has, I do not have. If one day, as a human being, I would want to succeed, I would be clever to look at him and get closer to him and say, how do you do it? What's your discipline? How do you manage all this? It's got nothing to do with churches. Besides, he preaches Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Catholic does preach the same Jesus Christ.
Have you joined the Enlightened Christian Gathering?
I have gone there praying a number of times.
Yes.
And I feel there's no problem. I've gone and I can always go and pray with them.
Okay.
But that does not mean I've joined the church. I can fellowship
with them. My question is, have you joined Prophet Bushiri's church? Yes or no?
It's a tricky question. I can't say yes or no, because joining is like I've left my church, Catholic.
You have just told me that you have been fellowshipping there, and you continue doing that. What are you doing with Prophet Bushiri?
We pray.
Okay.
We pray.
Okay. So why are you failing to answer my question whether you have joined the church or not?
A person does not belong to churches. So I am Catholic.
Yes.
But whenever an opportunity arises, I can fellowship with him.
Yeah, but that is causing some pains with fellow members of the Catholic Church.
I don't think any sensible Catholics are highly educated people. When we talk about the clergy, our clergy goes to school and stays 11 years. They understand religion very well.
So the bishops, the priests, the elders at Catholic are understanding your association.
I have
with
never
Bushiri?
had one question from even my parish priest. I was there at church on last Sunday. I've never had any question from any bishop. They understand, they're sharp. But some guys were trying to bang us.
The doctrines are different, Honorable Banda.
The doctrines, yes, are different. But I'm saying they preach Jesus Christ.
Are you doing any other deals with Bushiri?
No, he's not a dealer, according to how I know him. I've never done any deals with him. I meet him at that level of a man of God, but also a businessman who can inspire me and I can learn a few things. Mind you, when I go to South Africa, in the past, I've got nothing to do on a Friday. We used to go to clubs and have fun and dance. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
These days, when I go to South Africa on a Friday and I've got nothing to do, I go to ECG and fellowship and pray all night and come back home. What's better?
As we finish our discussion tonight, you have talked about the UDF, the government, and all the things that are happening in this country. Where is Bakili Muluzi's effect in all this, especially in what is happening in the United Democratic Front?
It would be unfair for me to drag Dr. Bakili Muluzi into today's politics because honestly he resigned and he has remained on the background.
So he has nothing to do with Atupele and his movements and his collision with government?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Their family, I wouldn't know what happens behind the curtains, but as far as I'm concerned, as a member of the UDF party, I believe whatever decisions are being made now are being made by the current president, who is Atupele. Dr. Bakili Muluzi is out of the picture. He resigned from politics.
Very lastly, are you going to continue sitting on the opposition bench?
I'll continue sitting on the opposition bench, and I'm ready to rebuild the UDF, make it ready for 2019. As UDF, not as any other party. I am ready to invite all people that left UDF way back.
So you're not following Atupele, you're not joining the Democratic Progressive Party?
No, that is not happening. I've got a lot of people like Omar of the Central Region, Omar, who are giving us support. A lot of people, they're strengthening us, telling us to stay on in the party and build our party. It is our party and we love it.
Honorable Lucius Banda, quite intriguing hearing you talk tonight. We wish we had more time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
And this is how we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive here on Times Television. In this edition of the program, I've been talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Balaka North, who is also one of the country's celebrated musicians, Honorable Lucius Banda. My name is Brian Banda. From all of us here tonight, reaching you from Balaka, thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.